Hi guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Money Chat with Afsat. So today's video is an extension of the one I did a few months ago where I spoke about moving from Lagos to Morocco for my postgraduate program. So today's video is about financial tips to help you settle in as an international student. Yes, I know it comes with a lot of financial implications. So these are a few tips that will help you settle in properly and so that you'll be prepared for what this session is all about. So let's get started. So first of all, I have my system with me so that I can be looking at some of the tips that I already wrote. So bear with me. So I think the first thing I want to say is welcome, like welcome to your new home. So whether you're here for, let's say, the next 1 year or 2 years, it's going to be your home for that period. So first, embrace that idea. So welcome. So I think the second thing you want to do is during the first few weeks that you resume, you might not receive your stipend immediately. That's like if you're on scholarship, if you're receiving stipend. So brace up for the first few weeks. I hope you have small cash. That money, you're going to use it to settle some minor expenses. For instance, when I resumed, the first thing we did was to go for medical checkup and then use the result to apply for our residence card. So you might have to do that, and there are some minor expenses that you're going to incur during that period. I'm not certain, some might be refunded to you, but they might not be refunded, right? So you want to have cash at hand so that you're not stranded. Now, when your first stipend comes in, there are a lot of things that you need to use that money for. For instance, during that period, it's more of settling down expenses. What do I mean by that? I think number one is there are limited things you were able to bring with you when you were traveling. For instance, you might need to buy a book, you might need to buy your pen, some stationaries that you need for your academic session. So that should be like the first thing on your list. Now, the second thing is clothing. Don't get me wrong, don't go to the market and be buying so many clothes. I want to believe you have your bag packed with few clothes that you need for the next 3 months or even 1 semester, right? But you might need, let's say, like cardigan. I remember when I came to Morocco, it was very cold, and it was just one small jacket I came with, right? So when you get money, one of the first things that you want to buy is probably a cardigan, sweater, something to keep you warm during the weather. So that's another important expense that you want to incur. I think the third thing now is utensils. So for instance, and my colleague, we have to like cook for ourselves. We don't want to be going to the dining every time, because going to the dining means not having anything left, because it's the same stipend they give you. Whether you cook it for yourself or you go to the restaurant and eat with the money, is the same money. So for us, cooking is more affordable and convenient for us. So I think one of the things we did during that period when we wanted to buy utensils was going for the most cheapest item. So for instance, pots, I went for the one that is the most cheapest, honestly, because it felt expensive. But if you have the chance, I think one of the things that you want to do is go for the most durable, the one that has a good quality, because believe you me, you're going to be using this thing for the next like 2 years. So you don't want a situation whereby that thing that you failed to buy when you resume is something you ended up buying later. So make sure the utensils that you get are durable, even if it is few. Even if it's just 2 pots, make sure it's good, because my own pot already is beginning to dent and I'm not buying anything again. I'm using it like that, right? So that is another cost you're going to incur. So you're going to do a lot of cooking and keeping food in the refrigerator, because you don't have to be going to the market every week. So one thing you're going to need is all this microwavable plate, like 3 to 4 to 5. You might need as much of that, right? So get it. Another thing is your mind is going to tell you that you need this item, or you need a sieve, or you need a spoon. Get the few things that you can get. Don't get too much. But there are some important things that you know is non-negotiable. So get it now, or you will still get it later, right? In the first month, basically, your stipend is to cover all of your settling down expenses, like I've already mentioned. So that's what you're going to be using the money for. The next thing you want to do now is attack your loan. For instance, when I first came here, I had a pending loan that I wanted to clear. I used the money to buy some content creation gadgets, but I was expecting my salary to be paid, like my final salary. So when that final salary came, I used it to clear everything, and that was it. I was not owing again. But I think I had a lot of colleagues that still had like outstanding debt. And it's very normal for you to borrow money to finance your trip. It's very, very normal. So one thing you want to do is now you have an idea of the money that comes in your current currency, whether it's dirhams like in Morocco or dollars wherever you are, right? So you know how much you receive as stipend. Now you know how much you're owing outstanding. So what you want to do is you want to draft a budget. You want to know that this is how much I can afford to be paying the person every month. So come up with a plan on how you pay them. And if possible, communicate with the person that you're owing money or the people you're owing money. Let them know that, okay, give me 3 months. This is the amount I'll be sending to you in Naira, and then I'm going to clear the debt. So you want to attack your loan as soon as possible. The sooner you attack it, the better for you, because you might not be able to do anything, right? So just make sure you sort it out immediately. Now, the third thing is start planning for your tuition for the next year. Yes, that's the honest truth. So I'm saying this because I realized some of the students that resumed to my school this semester, they didn't get full scholarship. And that is a lot. The amount is huge. So what you want to do is to make sure you prioritize that amount in your budget. That's the first thing you want to start saving for. Determine how much you need to save up, and the balance is what you are now going to be using to feed yourself, because it's priority. If you don't pay for your school fees next year, you are going back home, right? So you want to come up with a plan on how you are going to finance that your tuition fee. That is very, very paramount. Now, one thing that can help you save better is to open a bank account in where you are. For us, for instance, we couldn't open accounts till like 2 months or 3 months later after we got our residence card, because that's part of what you use to open a separate account. So however it is in your place, make inquiry. But the important thing is you don't want your spending account and your savings account to be the same thing. For instance, we have a card, we call it SNAPS card. So that's the card where they give us our stipend. But creating a bank account means I can remove money from my student account and put it in that regular account, so that the money is separated and I don't have to go and spend everything, you get. So it really, really helped me. So depending on where you are, your location, make inquiries and see how you can separate your bank account, your savings account from your regular account. Another thing you might want to do is maybe engage in a savings challenge with some of your classmates or colleagues. That's, for instance, let's say you want to pay, you have tuition that you're saving for, right? So if you do a savings challenge with your friends, it will be easier for you guys to stay diligently with your savings target. And so every month you're saving towards those things that you have outstanding. So let me see, what's the next thing on my list. Okay, I think I've talked about this, but I can buttress again. Now that you know how much you're owing as loan, if you have a loan, how much you need to save for your tuition, you want to use this information to create a budget for yourself, a spending budget, right? And one thing that is also going to help you is to track your spending during the first 2 to 3 months. I remember when I came, I had a lot of expenses, and settling down was a lot of, like, it was so stressful, right? And I think in the first month, I didn't really track my spending, so I didn't know. It's about the second month, that's when I went back to my budgeting, and it really helped me. So you need that information to now identify how much will you be spending every month for feeding. Maybe it's 400 dirhams, maybe it's, you get, depending on the equivalent to your place, right? So you know how much is your fixed cost. What are the important things like feeding, toiletries that you must be buying every month, so that when you're doing your budget, you make something very, very realistic. You set your feeding budget, your maybe minor transportation budget, your loan, your savings. So tracking your expenses will make you create a realistic budget that you can stick to. So when it comes to budgeting, you don't need to stress yourself too much. All you need is a simple Excel sheet or even a printable journal. And I have them, right? So I'm going to be providing the link to these templates. You can easily download and print or use it online, right? To create a realistic budget for yourself. This is really going to help you to take control of your minor money. That money is not enough, so you want to make the most of it. Now let's get to the next point. So the next point I want to talk about is converting your money to Naira. God, it wasn't easy. I remember when I came, there was one time I wanted to buy yam, and the guy told us the yam was like, oh God, I've forgotten the amount. But that was like 6,000 Naira for one yam. And you might have like, 1 yam, 6,000. No, I can't do this. Even plantain, just 3 pieces of plantain, the amount you'll be hearing. I say, no, I can't deal. But so in the first few weeks, honestly, you want to convert everything to Naira, but you need to understand the fact that you're no longer spending Naira and your stipend also is not in Naira. You're spending the local currency. For instance, it's dirhams you're spending. So stop trying to convert. It will take a while, but let me get you, you're going to get used to it. It's only a matter of time you will get used to it. In fact, you will forget to make conversions at the end of the day, right? But in the first few weeks, it's going to feel difficult, but you need to embrace it. Now, what is going to help you is, first of all, have a benchmark. Now, one mistake people make is trying to benchmark your purchasing capacity with that of maybe every other person, maybe your colleagues. That no, it's not possible. For instance, now in the local community, there's like their minimum wage, and your stipend might not even be up to the minimum wage. So which means your purchasing capacity is lower than people that earn minimum wage. So that is not a good benchmark. So one thing that has helped me during that period is comparing the prices of items with one another, similar items. I'll give you an example. So one time I went to the store and I wanted to buy Capri soda. I saw Capri soda, normal Capri soda of, is it 300 naira or 100 naira? I saw the Capri soda and it was about, I think, 11 dirhams here. And I didn't even know if it was prices. So I think the first time I bought it, I took it. So the next day I wanted to buy it again, but I was like, 11 dirham. That's like 1,000 something in naira. I did a conversion initially. So I was like, is this pricey or not? Let me check. So I checked the store and then I saw another drink. This is five alive pulpy, something similar. Now this drink is about 1 liter or close to a liter, right? And it was the same amount, 11 dirham. So I had a choice. Either I buy a drink that is about 1 liter for 11 dirham or a small Capri Sun for 11 dirham. So you get, the one that is better, because it's the same thing, honestly, similar taste, right? But the bigger one is giving you more value for money. So what you want to do is compare the prices with similar item, not by converting it to Naira or by comparing it with somebody else's purchasing power. Check the store, check for 2 products and compare the prices. So that's how we've been able to compare the prices of one item in one store and one shop to another, and then finally identify how you're going to be buying your item. So this is really going to come in handy for you. Now let me check my system for the next point. So this is like a common mistake that I see a lot of people do. So during the first few months, maybe 3 to 4 months, you are owing money, you pay the money. After you clear the money, you now start spending as the spirit leads. Before, you are very, very sensitive of what you spend your money, but now you're spending money anyhow. That's what they call situational financial discipline. Please don't fall victim for this habit. It's a very, very bad habit. That discipline that you started with, make sure you maintain it all through. Because the money you need is not just for the first few months. There are so many things that you still need money for that I am going to share with you very, very soon. So make sure if you're budgeting, stick to it. If you're tracking your spending, stick to it, because you need money for several things. One of the things is the fact that there's going to be a summer break after like 6 months. After your first semester, second semester, there's going to be summer break. Chances are that your stipend does not cover summer period because it is non-academic season. So you need money to feed during that period. My eyes saw shaggy. I and my colleagues, we saw shaggy during that period because we received money, but it came in very, very late. So you need money to survive during that period. So it's not just about the first month. No, you need money for periods coming, right? So make sure you are saving critically. That is one. Number 2 is you might want to travel back. I remember when I came, I was like, oh, I'll travel for summer. I did not go anywhere. I couldn't afford it. The transport is nothing to joke home about, right? So you might want to travel. Some of my colleagues travel. They can. You just need to be smart about it. You just need to anticipate it in advance. So when you are being calculative, when you start saving in advance, you might be able to travel back to Nigeria for summer and do so. Another one is you might want to find some gig, find some things to do during the summer break, right? So those are some of the things that you might need money for. In particular, one thing I did during summer was I paid for 2 professional examinations. My CFA level 1 exam, I got scholarship. I needed about 3,000 dirham to balance it and a lot of things. So imagine I was not saving money. I will not be able to take up that opportunity. So many people use summer period to also write professional courses. It's the money that is saved in anticipation that they use to finance those professional courses. And mind you, you're doing a master's program or an undergraduate program, you're studying basically, And during this period, you should study, you should do as much courses as possible. It is easier compared to you doing certifications when you are working. So kill as many birds with the same stone. And what will help you heavily is the money that you have at hand. So make sure you are saving money for summer period, for the post 1 or 2 months, right? So please be stringent with your finances. Don't joke with your money. So I think basically that's the most of the financial tips I have. I don't know if you have some particular questions that you need me to address, you can drop it in the comment section and I can do a part 2 of that. So now let's go to the non-financial tips. Let me tell you something, you're going to be homesick. See, at first it didn't happen to me till about I think the 3rd or 4th month, because before I came here, it felt unrealistic. It felt like maybe when I go to the airport, they'll send me back home. I didn't really get it in, take it in. Till after about 3 months, God, I felt very, very homesick. I almost breaking down. It will happen to a lot of people, right? So you're going to get homesick. But one of the things that will help you is to engage in extracurricular activities. School, there will be a lot of activities. My favorite, or there will be a lot of like resources and things you can do. My favorite spot is being at the gym. I go to the gym every time. Like as soon as I located the gym, you see me registering to go to the gym. Not just that, I do Zumba. Zumba things at the gym is like dancing. You go there every Monday, you dance and stuff like that. There is swimming. Now, one thing I made a mistake of was before coming here, I did not buy swimming suits. And it is very, very expensive here. It's like 10 times the amount I'll buy it in Nigeria. So it took a long while before I was able to get my swimming wear from Nigeria, affordable. And then I started swimming. So those are some of the things that you can do. Apart from that, even like classes is going to be very demanding, but you want to find things that will just give you find time for yourself and engage in some other activities. There will be a lot of like hackathon, a lot of programs that will be happening. So find 1 or 2 things to engage in that is going to just help you deal with the homesickness, right? Another thing you want to do is probably to, I don't know, find some gigs that you can do online, depending on where you are. Maybe you are allowed to work or not, you get depending, right? Those are some of the things that you can be doing in the meantime to also like supplement what you have and what you want to do, right? So that is something that will also help you. Now, another thing is, depending on where you are, there could be language barrier. Here, for instance, they speak French. They speak Darija. Darija is like Arabic, but I don't understand what they are saying, right? So I've been trying to pick up French. It's not easy. Don't stress yourself. You can, I think the first thing you probably want to learn is how to greet, how to say words, numbers, because you go to the market and you want to buy, they'll be telling you this dirham, they'll be telling you sank dirham. So you want to know what is on, do, to, sank. You get like numbers. You want to know numbers so that you can easily grasp what they are saying. You want to know how to say sa, ma, like monsieur, like sir, what do you say? You get like, you go to market, how to talk to the local people there. Those few things. So don't stress yourself. Me, for instance, my dual streak this week, I am steady. The next week, I've forgotten that I'm supposed to be learning my French, right? So don't fret. You might assimilate it faster. For other people, they don't really get it faster, right? So don't stress yourself too much. Just try to like get it as much as possible, right? So that's another like interesting thing to do. Now, there is something I also want to say. When you come wherever you are newly, you don't expect them to jump and hug you or be happy to see a Nigerian or a Ghanaian in their midst, right? It's not literally what you expect, right? That's not going to be the case. So embrace that. Embrace the idea that nobody's going to come and start hugging you and telling you, welcome to my country and whatever. So please, you know what you're here for. Focus on that. You came here to study. You came here to learn. You came here to take a break. You came here you know your purpose. That is why you are here. Focus on that. So if they smile, you smile. You don't smile, you don't smile. So brace up. One thing you want to do is also to relate with your previous scholars, people in your department that have gone through similar, so that you know what to expect from the courses that you don't want to joke with, the lecturers that you don't want to get into their easy black book, right? So you want to relate more with your seniors, your colleagues and stuff like that, so that you can be prepared for the semester and for the session. That's one thing you don't want to make mistake with. I don't know if I have more points. I don't know if I have another point here. So I think the last one I just want to say is something a little bit motivating. It's just to let you understand that whatever you're facing, whatever you're feeling, it is temporary. This period, this academic period, it's temporary. It's going to come to pass. I remember when I came here, I had few friends that I was so excited to see, but some of them are already going, and even I am about to enter my third semester and then internship, and that is it. So you too will also start handing over the baton to the next batch of people that are coming. So try, be better than me. Just embrace it and just be marveled by the environment. Try to be a tourist in the new environment. I remember that was what helped me in Lagos, but when I came here, it was a bit challenging. I couldn't just act like a tourist no matter how I wanted to do. Maybe if I had more money, I'll feel better. Like if I could fund some trip, go out and all of that. But I was constrained, right? Financially constrained by that. So I couldn't. But as much as possible, maybe if you plan it better than I did, you'll be able to maybe go outside the school once in a while, right? Those are some of the things that can help you. But regardless, I found a way around it. I remember after my first 3 months, I went out with my friend, right? Even I wanted to travel to Casa, I couldn't, but I ended up doing it because I started like the budgeting, everything. It came in handy for me, right? So don't fret. It's temporary. It's going to happen. Have your friend, your close friends that you can always like reach out to and rant to. Cry. I don't think there's anybody that did not cry, because I did. There are periods where I'm in my room and I'm just crying. I want to go back home. I think you feel that way. You want to go back home. It is normal, but just brace up, right? It's a period. It's temporary. 2 years down the line, you're back home or you're in the next better place, right? So I think that is all I have for you today. I hope you find these pieces helpful. And one thing I am here to do is to help you with the financial part of it, to quantify that money and to show you and let you know these are the things you should do first. These are the things you can afford. This is a spending plan that is going to work for you. Stipend is not that big, but there's so much more you can do with it. For instance, I paid for 2 courses with it. That's about over 40% of my monthly income of my stipend, or what I used to finance that. And I'm already planning of what I'm going to do with the next one that comes in. It may feel very, very little, but you can still make the most of it, and I can help you with that. So if you want like a financial clarity session, I'll drop a link. So just book a free 15-minute clarity call. You and I can jump on a call and we can map out something easily for you, right? So thanks for watching to the end and take care.